Chu Qing faced Madame Xing calmly and declared that his younger sister was the granddaughter of Chu Anlin, the head of the Chu family. He asked directly, "Is that identity any less than yours?" Madame Xing maintained an arrogant expression and replied that the Chu family had its foundation in the capital, but Chu Qing's family only existed in Jinmen. She sarcastically said that Chu Qing's mother was a loser in the internal family dispute. Chu Qing gritted his teeth, emotions rising. He thought to himself that because of this, his mother had to live in seclusion in Jinmen, and the engagement contract she held was just trash. Chu Qing spoke up, confirming, "That's right. Since you look down on my family and consider this engagement contract trash, I will show you something different." Madame Xing did not believe him, casually threw the engagement contract towards Chu Qing, sneered, and asked, "Do you have anything else to say?" Chu Qing quickly caught the rolled paper, his eyes fierce and ready to counterattack. Without hesitation, he tore the engagement contract to pieces right in front of her, affirming, "This is just scrap paper to me." Madame Xing did not respond. Her eyes went silent, but Chu Qing's act of tearing the engagement contract clearly angered her. Her heel stomped heavily on the ground, producing a heavy sound, signaling rising anger. She stepped closer to Chu Qing, placed her hand on his shoulder, and whispered, "You have a lot of guts. Maybe you don't understand what the name Chu Anlin means, right?" Chu Qing affirmed that his younger sister's identity was the granddaughter of Chu Anlin, implicitly comparing it to the other's status. The gray-haired woman, Xing Lai, responded sarcastically that the main branch of the Chu family was in the capital, while Chu Qing's mother was a defeated exile living in Jinmen. She continued to insult, saying that Chu Qing's mother had to hide in Jinmen out of shame, and the engagement contract was just trash. Chu Qing bluntly replied, "Because you look down on my family, I don't need to respect that contract." Xing Lai angrily threw the engagement contract to the ground and challenged Chu Qing, "Do you have anything else to say?" Chu Qing decisively grabbed the rolled contract, his eyes full of determination and challenge. Without hesitation, he tore the contract apart and declared, "To me, this is just used paper." Xing Lai stood up. The sound of her shoes echoed tensely, signaling anger about to erupt. Xing Lai approached closely, squeezed Chu Qing's shoulder, and spoke threateningly, "You seem not to understand what the name Chu Anlin means." Chu Qing faced her unflinchingly and calmly replied, "That name didn't protect me from danger tonight." The missing girl's mother suddenly struck, slapping Chu Qing hard in the face, leaving him stunned. She grabbed his collar and sharply questioned, "Did you kidnap my daughter?" Despite being grabbed by the collar, Chu Qing tried to stay calm and forced a smile as he asked, "Can we talk?" The woman coldly said, "Fine, I'll talk to you." She began to loosen her grip, but her eyes still held suspicion and threat. After releasing him, she stood solemnly and asked directly, "What do you want?" Chu Qing answered frankly, "Release my sister. Although she is safe now, Meng Zui won't stop and will find her sooner or later." The woman smirked coldly and declared, "A life for a life is fair. Now I want your life. If you can only save one person, who would you choose?" Chu Qing was shocked and confused. "Ma'am, how can I choose? Is there no other option?" She emphasized with murderous eyes, "If you don't choose, I will send people to find her. When I find my daughter, you and your whole family will pay." Chu Qing coldly retorted, declaring that if she wants to find her daughter, she can wait until she does. The missing girl's mother appeared thoughtful, then stepped forward to whisper something to Auntie Wei, her eyes revealing a conspiratorial look. She firmly asserted that Chu Qing was hiding her daughter somewhere nearby and ordered Auntie Wei to wait for investigation updates. After she left, Chu Qing slumped into a chair, exhausted and weighed down by heavy thoughts. He looked at his phone, seriously wondering if she would care if he called someone for rescue. The powerful woman calmly responded, wanting to see which savior he could call. On the phone screen, Chen Huahua reported having found the person Chu Qing asked for help, but had not yet pinpointed the exact location. Chen Huahua instructed Chu Qing to contact Zhu Buliang and 2 other male students, telling them to be ready to monitor the site. Chu Qing sharply asked Huahua why there was still no clear news, his eyes showing extreme worry as time was pressing. Night falls. Inside the room, Chu Qing and the powerful woman, the mother of the missing girl, still face each other in tense silence. She coldly sneers. An hour has passed without anyone coming to rescue Chu Qing, asking if he hopes Yi Chengxi or Tang Ziyan will come to save him. Chu Qing smirks, challenging her. He believes the situation can turn around and is not afraid of being left behind. The woman raises her eyebrows in response, questioning whether Chu Qing still deludes himself that he can win. Chu Qing calmly asserts, if given 6 more months of training, he and she will no longer be on the same level. She laughs mockingly, calling herself Aunt Xing, a level 4 martial artist. She believes no young man can catch up to her level in just half a year. Chu Qing remains unfazed. He acknowledges their strength but insists, no matter how strong, everyone has a weakness. Chu Qing's declaration causes the mother of the missing girl to turn pale. She hurriedly picks up the phone to give orders. At the same time, Chu Qing's phone also vibrates. He unexpectedly receives a message. On the screen is information and a portrait of an important man that Chu Ching just received from Huahua, a new clue in the investigation. Chu Ching opens his phone and looks at the photo of a brown-haired man wearing blue pajamas, a mysterious figure he just got information about. Smiling confidently, Chu Ching silently praises Chen Huahua as extremely talented for uncovering the identity of the subject in such a short time. Aunt Wei, a silver-haired woman with her hair tied up, dressed simply, enters and informs Madam that she has found the missing girl. She recounts that the young lady was hidden under the bedroom floor. If they had been any later, something serious might have happened. Upon hearing this, the powerful woman becomes angry, immediately returning to the phone desk and coldly says, "Then, you must die." Chu Ching calmly raises his phone, displaying the photo of the mysterious man on the screen. He asks, "Don't you want to call this person?" Close-up of Chu Ching's cunning face, his sharp eyes challenging, still holding the photo of the other party in his hand. Both Madam and Aunt Wei are stunned when they see the photo. Their reactions are full of shock and seem very serious. Unable to keep calm, Aunt Wei immediately bursts with energy, throwing a glowing punch, a display of formidable martial power. Chu Ching is fiercely attacked by Aunt Wei, thrown forcefully backward. The strike is so strong that the space seems distorted by the internal energy. Chu Ching stands firm after the fierce attack from Aunt Wei, his determined eyes shining brightly beneath the aura of internal energy surrounding his body. Despite sweat dripping from his forehead, Chu Ching still wears a sly smile, using words to pressure her. If he is hit again, that man will also have to take a corresponding blow. In a moment of confrontation, Chu Ching blocks Aunt Wei's punch. His sharp reflexes surprise her. The powerful woman, angry but understanding the situation, orders Aunt Wei to stop and withdraw from the room. As Aunt Wei leaves, she turns to ask Chu Ching, "How did you find out about that?" Chu Ching calmly reveals, "Before coming, his people investigated thoroughly. As mayor, she often secretly met that man, proving a special relationship she did not want exposed." The woman scoffs coldly, acknowledging Chu Ching's intelligence and luck, then asks him to state his terms for negotiation. Chu Ching smiles and proposes a surprising condition. "Let my sister marry your son." The woman agrees but sets a condition. If within 1 year Chu Ching's sister owns a house on Juk Street, she will marry Tower. Otherwise, Tower will marry her. Chu Ching nods in agreement but requests all terms be put in writing. Then he adds another condition: write a recruitment letter for him and give it to Zhui to prevent his sister's burial. The powerful woman angrily shouts, refusing to believe that Chu Ching would dare doubt her words. A corner of the bookshelf is highlighted, implying that an important agreement or evidence is being taken out. The woman began stamping the document, while Chu Ching stood behind with a tense expression, waiting to confirm the conditions. Chu Ching took the paper, carefully checked the content, and confirmed it was exactly as desired. He smiled lightly when mentioning Meng Zhui, warning the woman that if she played tricks, she could face serious trouble. The woman retorted, suggesting that Chu Ching might hate Meng Zhui simply because his pride was hurt when saving his sister. Chu Ching froze at the remark that hit a nerve, like a lightning strike delivering a mental shock. In anger, he shouted a denial, "No," then immediately counterattacked sharply, "It has nothing to do with you." As Chu Ching was about to turn away, the woman coldly called him back. "Wait," she seriously added, "there's one more thing," revealing that the negotiation was not yet completely over. Chu Ching stood before Chairman Chu, asking with suspicion, "Is there anything else?" Chairman Chu replied, mentioning a name that made the situation serious, about Liu Feng. Chu Ching was briefly surprised, finding the name appealing. He reassured her that he would keep the secret, as he naturally disliked talking much. Chairman Chu solemnly denied all suspicions. Her relationship with Liu Feng was not as outsiders imagined. She began to recount the past, when she was a companion to the prince, once having the chance to become the third most powerful person under the queen's reign. In the recollection, the image of young Chairman Chu appeared, strong, beautiful, with decisive and powerful eyes. However, under the cruel queen's reign, she was humiliated, had books thrown at her face, and was brutally driven away. Nevertheless, for Liu Feng, she disregarded fame. Chairman Chu gave up her noble position to leave the palace, only wishing to live with the one she loved. Hearing this, Chu Ching was deeply shocked, a vague thought forming in his mind. Liu Feng is the man who will become the queen. The story made Chu Ching's eyes widen in astonishment. An exclamation mark lit up in his eyes. This revelation far exceeded all imagination. Chu Ching angrily questioned the powerful woman, Chairman Chu, about her relationship with Liu Feng, not understanding why she would reveal such a serious secret without fear of punishment from the emperor. Chairman Chu coldly responded, recalling Chu Ching's previous challenge that he would surpass her and Xing Wei within 6 months. She agreed to give him exactly that time frame. A shadow with blazing red eyes appeared, symbolizing hostility and danger awaiting Chu Ching if he failed. Chu Ching stood upright in the light emanating from his body, firmly declaring that there was no place for that dark force to exist anywhere under heaven or earth. Chu Qing bowed his head, his gaze solemn, feeling the weight of the determination he had just voiced. Raising his head, he declared resolutely, if he could not succeed within 6 months, he would end his own life. Chu Qing coldly turned his back and walked out of the room, leaving Chairman Chu standing behind, deep in thought and calculation. Chairman Chu opened a drawer and took out a small wooden box, as if preparing something important. Chu Qing was surprised when Chairman Chu threw him a gun along with the box, an action that caught him off guard. Chairman Chu announced that inside the box were 3 level 3 Wangchuan bullets, an initial gift from his older sister, marking the start of a fierce journey ahead. Chu Qing clenched the box of bullets in his hand, his eyes resolute. He seemed to have made a great determination after the conversation with his mother. Carrying the gun on his shoulder and a heavy heart, Chu Qing quietly stepped out of the building in the twilight. Everything was beginning. He stopped, his eyes flashing with alertness. Chu Qing sensed something unusual approaching. A long, pink-haired girl with a seductive figure was being supported by an old woman with a cane. She held her head with a painful and angry expression. Upon seeing Chu Qing, the pink-haired girl immediately went mad. She shouted loudly, calling him with rude words and threatening revenge for being hurt by him. Unable to control her anger, she rushed forward to slap Chu Qing angrily, making the atmosphere tense. Chu Qing lowered his head to dodge the blow, his eyes full of endurance. Clearly, he did not want to get involved in this meaningless dispute. Unable to tolerate it further, Chu Qing pushed her hand away and shouted that he did not want to play with her. His gaze became cold and sharp. The pink-haired girl continued to curse, even dragging out the name Chu Zio to insult. She challenged Chu Qing to confront her, showing a proud attitude. Chu Qing clenched his fists tightly, his eyes icy cold. He gritted his teeth and said, "So you dare to hit my little sister's face?" The pink-haired girl laughed triumphantly when she saw Chu Qing did not fight back. She thought she had made him submit and smugly praised herself. However, Chu Qing immediately delivered a sudden slap, forcefully sending the pink-haired girl flying backward, blood spurting from her mouth. The pink-haired girl fell to the ground, panicked and covering her face. Chu Qing stepped forward, coldly saying that he usually did not hit women. He raised his head, his gaze serious. The slap was because of Chu Zio, his sister, who had been insulted by this girl. The pink-haired girl screamed angrily, calling Grandma Wei to take revenge for her, wanting to turn Chu Qing into a corpse. Grandma Wei, the old gray-haired woman with a high bun, immediately stepped forward, sharp eyes. Her right hand clenched tightly with glowing inner strength. A purple aura rose around her hand. Grandma Wei prepared to strike, her aura showing she was a formidable master. But at that moment, Grandma Wei's wrist was held back. A powerful brown-haired woman with a low bun appeared, her eyes cold. Grandma Wei exclaimed in surprise, "Ma'am," showing her respect and fear for this woman. The woman remained calm and decisively stopped her. Chu Qing stood at a distance, sarcastically saying the Xing children seemed to need some discipline. Then he turned and left, his silhouette gradually fading under the moonlight. The blonde woman with a low bun, the actual head of the Xing family, ordered both her daughter and Tower to be sent to the Wangchuan training camp. She admitted fault for being lax with their discipline. Grandma Wei protested in alarm, revealing that the Wangchuan training camp was the harshest place, with only a 20% survival rate. Most became disabled or died after the course. The head woman remained firm. She believed that because she had such a daughter, she must train her strictly to inherit the family. She asked about her daughter's current condition. Despite Grandma Wei's attempts to persuade, the matriarch coldly interrupted. She said if her daughter died, it was due to her own weakness. She also proposed letting Tower inherit the Xing family, emphasizing that men were no less than women, using Chu Qing as an example. Grandma Wei stood silently, watching the matriarch's departing figure. She was shocked, wondering if Chu Qing was influencing the family head's stance. The image of the matriarch striding powerfully in the backlit glow. In her thoughts, she repeated the denial of the idea that men are inferior to women, considering it an unacceptable absurdity. Just as Chu Qing returned, the pink-haired girl with 2 bows ran over from afar with a radiant and excited expression. The girl was tearful, moved to see Chu Qing again after so many days apart. She burst into tears, rushing to hug Chu Qing tightly. "You scared me to death," while he tried to explain that he had just escaped from 2 formidable old ladies. The girl misunderstood Chu Qing's words, thinking he had just experienced a situation with 3 strange people, prompting him to hastily clarify that he was only defeated by 2 women. Although she didn't understand what had happened, the girl only cared that Chu Qing had returned safely and leaned affectionately on his shoulder. Before Chu Qing could rest, his phone rang repeatedly. Tang Zian had called 18 times, signaling the next trouble was coming. He tiredly answered, lazily saying in his sleepy state, "Tang Zian, let me sleep a little longer." Tang Zian angrily shouted from the other end, scolding him for being late to class. "Do you know what time it is?" Chu Qing drowsily asked back, "What does that have to do with the parents?" Which made Zian even angrier. Tang Zian yelled, "There's a test today. Have you forgotten the bet with Tong Fei's teacher?" signaling big trouble waiting for him at school. Chu Qing hurried into the classroom just as the teacher, a woman with neatly tied black hair and triangular glasses, announced the start of the test. The whole class was stunned to see Chu Qing arrive late. The silence was so intense you could hear a cartoon bird flying overhead. Chu Qing's face clearly showed embarrassment, both ashamed and tense as all eyes focused on him. To ease the atmosphere, Chu Qing joked about himself in front of the class. "Do I look that charming?" His unexpected words made classmates laugh, including the purple-haired girl with twin braids and glasses. The teacher was so angry she rolled her eyes. The teacher scolded Chu Qing for arriving just before the test, asking if he was really serious. Chu Qing apologized, blamming oversleeping. Still, she allowed him to participate and told him to quickly settle down. Chu Qing began the test along with his classmates. A serious atmosphere filled the room as the exam bell rang. After the test, students poured into the hallway discussing answers. Everyone debated, including a prominent group of female students exchanging results. The purple-haired girl with twin braids and glasses asked Chu Qing about his results, hoping he made the top 10 this time. He confidently replied, "Not bad, I almost finished everything." Behind them, two female students appeared, one with short orange hair and one with long purple hair. Both seemed to have just witnessed the cheerful conversation between Chu Qing and the purple-haired girl. A short brown-haired girl with an angry look approached behind Tang Zian. Her sharp gaze showed she was displeased with what she had just seen. The brown-haired girl rushed at Song Kaoran, loudly questioning, "Who let you get close to him? Don't you know he belongs to Tang Zian?" Song Kaoran stepped back in shock, while Chu Qing standing nearby had no time to react. Chu Qing immediately turned serious, his eyes cold. He warned the girl, "No matter who you are, if you dare do that again, I will wipe you out." The brown-haired girl flew into a rage, raising her fist and pointing it at Chu Qing, shouting, "Chu Qing, are you tired of living?" Tang Zian immediately intervened, grabbing the brown-haired girl's hand and coldly warning, "You shouldn't do that to him. I'm warning you." After resolving the tension, Tang Zian turned to Chu Qing with a soft gaze. "Let's go eat, come with me." Chu Qing turned to invite Song Kaoran. "Let's go, Song Kaoran, are you coming too?" The blue-haired girl happily nodded. The brown-haired girl couldn't hold back her anger, yelling, "Chu Qing, you bastard, shameless." Tang Zian looked at the angry brown-haired girl and smirked. "Tell me, are you worried about my charm?" Song Kaoran awkwardly declined the invitation. "No, I already have plans, I have to go first." Chu Qing could only sigh and agree. Chu Qing stood silently watching Song Kaoran's figure walk away with a sad expression. A bright curly-haired male student, name unknown, nearby stared wide-eyed in surprise at the scene. At that moment, the short orange-haired girl, who had just been with Tang Zian, shone amidst the shimmering scene, her gaze cold but captivating. The bright curly-haired male student was completely captivated, his eyes dazed and face flushed as he looked at the orange-haired girl, as if struck by love at first sight. Suddenly, a dark-faced friend pulled the curly-haired boy away, happily inviting him to lunch, leaving the orange-haired girl watching with a puzzled look. The stern female teacher in a suit and sunglasses holding a book spoke up, "Let's begin." Meanwhile, Chu Qing hurriedly ran into the classroom, just arriving. The teacher and the whole class froze when Chu Qing dropped an origami bird. The atmosphere paused in a moment of absolute silence. Chu Qing was silently angry, with a serious expression, trying to suppress his emotions after losing face in front of the class. Chu Qing quickly changed the subject, trying to joke with the class by asking a silly question, "Do I look attractive?" The whole class burst out laughing, including the purple-haired girl with braided pigtails, Song Kaoran. The teacher glared angrily. The teacher scolded, "Chu Qing, you almost arrived late. Do you really want to take the exam?" He scratched his head apologetically. "I overslept, sorry." The teacher sighed and told him to sit down quickly. Chu Qing began the exam in class with a serious demeanor. The bell rang, signaling the start of the test. At the end of the exam, students left the classroom. Everyone debated the results. Someone exclaimed worriedly, "Oh no, I chose answer C." Song Kaoran asked Chu Qing cheerfully, "How was the test this time? Did you make the top 10? Chu Qing confidently replied, "It's okay, I almost finished everything." Behind them, two other female students, one with long purple hair, Tang Zian, and one with short brown hair, silently observed with displeased expressions. Tao Yuna was angry seeing Song Kaoran standing close to Chu Qing, her eyes cold and warning. She rushed forward, pushing Song Kaoran away, loudly declaring that Chu Qing was Tang Zian's person, causing chaos. Chu Qing showed clear annoyance, his cold gaze threatening. Believe it or not, I will erase you. Tao Yunao angrily shouted, raising her fist to demand Chu Qing's death. Tang Ziyan stepped forward to stop her, warning Tao Yunao not to lay a hand on Chu Qing. Tang Ziyan suddenly invited Chu Qing to eat, which somewhat eased the tension. Chu Qing turned to invite Song Kaoran to join, causing her to panic from surprise. Tao Yunao shouted angrily, calling Chu Qing shameless, her face flushed red with jealousy. Tang Ziyan leaned in teasingly. Are you worried about my charm? Leaving Tao Yunao speechless. Song Kaoran excused herself, saying she had an appointment, and hurried away, leaving Chu Qing staring after her in confusion. Yimao slammed his hand on the table, summoning all his courage. His expression showed determination, no longer hesitant. Yimao stood up abruptly, blushing and shouting loudly, Tao Yuniao, I like you. The words shocked everyone at the table. Tao Yuniao was stunned, eyes wide, cheeks flushed pink from surprise. It was the first time she saw Yimao so brave. A flashback appeared, Tao Yuniao in kindergarten sitting eating cake with a blonde boy, Yimao. They had known each other since childhood. Yimao excitedly recounted. When they were little, Tao Yuniao once ate 13 cakes in a row while others only ate 4 or 5. He admired her strength and prominence back then. Yimao continued recalling when she ate 8 ice creams in a bet at age 9. He cheered and admired her, and she shared her winning ice cream with him. In middle school, Tao Yuniao impressed again by winning a bread-eating contest with an unbelievable number, 10 pieces, far surpassing the class. Yimao looked at her with admiration. Tang Ziyan laughed heartily, surprised by Yuniao's extraordinary eating ability. She teased, so skinny but eats so well. Tao Yuniao stood up shouting, shut up, didn't expect you were a little snail when you were young. She blushed, angry but somewhat embarrassed. Yimao teared up emotionally. Finally you recognized me, I thought you had forgotten. He looked up, eyes sparkling with hope. Angry at being reminded of his old nickname, Little Snail, Tao Yunao smashed Yimao's head into the cake, releasing all her pent-up frustration. Tang Ziyan stood up, coldly declaring she was leaving after witnessing the awkward chaos among the three. Yimao, with his face covered in cake, confusedly asked, did I say something wrong? Chu Qing calmly replied, pointing out that Tao Yunao still hadn't rejected Yimao, meaning there was still a chance. He also commented that Yunao was the type of girl who makes men have to be strong to win her over. Yimao admitted that was true, but hoped Chu Qing would warn him next time so he could prepare mentally and not be embarrassed like this time. The two left the shop. Chu Qing promised to give advance notice next time and advised Yimao not to be shy when expressing his feelings. He also emphasized not to use sad words like, hey,